everyone, Breanne here. Hope everyone's doing well. Super excited to share the short tip of the month for October. And as you can see, I already went ahead and colored in the piece up until the point where I'll be demonstrating the tip, which is funky eye makeup. Thought this would be a really cool idea for the month of October since we all dress up and do our makeup and just have fun with it. I'm not going to be doing overly, I guess, scary makeup or anything like that. It's just going to be funky, colorful, and I'm also going to distribute some eye color within the eye as well, but I always do that last after I do my eyeshadow because it's going to bleed into the eye. So let's get started. I have the neon palette up just because I had that for an idea for the makeup. I'm going to be using some light tools, so I'll definitely probably use the laser, maybe the plasma. I might even use the watercolor, but because of the blendability of the airbrush when you're doing eyeshadow, I usually start with that. So I kind of put some pink in her hair here, and she has an orange glow around her. I wanted to use orange and purple and a little bit of pink. I just find those colors really emphasize the holiday, obviously black as well. So I did use a little bit of the Halloween palette for the colors, and then I used the neon palette. Just wanted to be quirky, light, and fun. So I'm just gonna zoom into her eyes. By the way, this piece isn't available in Pigment, not yet. If you guys find this interesting to have select pictures for features such as eyes and lips, if you think that would be useful to have as a book in Pigment to practice features, please let us know and we will think about that for you. I think it's a really cool idea. I just want to see if you guys do as well. So I already did most of the shading for her skin and whatever I was going to do. I'm obviously probably going to add in some more detail as I go, but for now, everything's set up for the way that I want. I was thinking I really love this reddy orangey type color. I was actually thinking of doing like a purple blue combo in the eye possibly. I thought the blue would really pop. So let's start out with the darkest color. I'm going to turn up my opacity on my airbrush. I want a good lay down of it. Maybe just turn down my brush size a little bit there. And I'm just going to start, maybe even turn down a bit more. And I want to deepen up that purple too. Yes, I should make sure it's on freehand mode, just so I get an even spread all the way through the eye. And that's why I didn't color the inner part of the eye yet, because obviously, as you can see, it's bleeding into the eye. So I'll save that for last. You gotta kind of play with your brush size and opacity depending on how wide you want the spread. If you want more of like a translucent look towards the eyebrow, it's good to have a bigger spread because you can press hard towards the base, but it'll get iridescent as the spread goes outward. So just be aware and play with your brush size until you get the desired effect that you are looking to achieve. And then I'm just going to do the same for the bottom over here. I might do some black, I'm not sure. I really want a sultry, funky, like pop look almost. I guess we could call her a pop princess for Halloween or something. She has the baseball cap on. She's sporting the cool colors on the eyes. Definitely a trendy Halloween type look anyway. So I got the purple down, and if you even want to go one step further, I love having darker colors towards the outer edge of the eye. That's something I even do with my own makeup. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to deepen up that purple a little bit more. I'm going to get a little bit more drama. So it looks good so far, and you could just leave it like that and do some highlighting in the corners, but we're going to take it a little bit further. We're going to try and funk it up a little bit because Halloween only comes once a year, so I want to make this a fun, quirky eyeshadow. So instead of highlighting it with like a lighter purple, which is what I would normally do, I'm going to use a blue. I really am digging this blue and purple combination lately. I just love the overlay of it, the way that it kind of blends together really nicely. So I'm just going to use that. And don't be afraid to color match around the eye and blend it out a little bit if you feel it's needed. So now we got funky purple blue eyes, right? So you can see that the iridescence of the purple gets darker here and there's a little bit of lighter here, and same towards the inner part of the eye. So I'm always trying to think of my highlights and what I'm trying to achieve when I'm putting this color down. And to be honest, I'm really liking the colors just the way that it is, but we're gonna funk it up even further. So just in case you're just tuning in and you're just watching this now, I'm using the Neon palette for this, which is a really fun palette to use for fun colors, especially fun makeup. So normally doing my makeup, I would never put makeup this low on my eye. But because it's Halloween, why not? I think that's a little bit too low, but that's okay. We can color match here and blend it out a little bit. Cheeks, so you have that pink peeking out going far down, but it's not too far down, you know? So I'm gonna have to readjust the purple that I did because that was kind of a last minute decision. So as you can see, to achieve anything, it's just experimenting. And I really do find the airbrush is key to achieving very iridescent blended look on the eye. And we could even put a little bit of pink in here if we wanted to. You can see how it just naturally blends, like it's effortless. So it's all just working things around, pushing colors around. So I am really actually digging these colors together. I think it looks really cool. It's almost like unicorn eyes or something, like a unicorn eye look. That's kind of what it's making me feel like right now. So I'm just gonna highlight under her brow with a lighter skin tone color. So I find that just adds lift to the brow line. I just put my main colors down for the skin. I didn't really do much highlighting because I usually save that for after once I see how the rest of the picture is coming along, and then that helps me define my highlights by seeing the rest of my picture. Okay, so I think that looks pretty cool. I'm gonna leave it as is, and then I'm gonna add some funky highlights and maybe even some black in there. Maybe I should do the black now before I color the inner part of the eye. So I'm just gonna darken up this lash line a little bit. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna color in the eyes. And as you notice, I've been saying this a couple of times in past videos that I've done. I like to use an off-white type of cream for the eye. It might look white on the camera because the colors do look a little bit different on video. But yeah, it's a cream because I find that it looks more natural. Use white. I mean, we do have white in our eyes, but I would say it's more of an off-white or a cream. I guess everybody's different. So now that I've taken the color that I've spread out of the eyes from the top, you can really see how the eyeshadow looks. So this is where I like to kind of touch it up a little bit. So I'm gonna grab that pink again. Just gonna add a little bit more spread to that pink. So I think that's good for now. I'm just debating on what color I should do these eyes. I'm almost thinking of doing them a blue or a green. Maybe a green. Let's try green, see how that looks. Actually, you know what? Let's do something different. Let's do a brown eye with orange highlights. And I'm still in the neon palette. I haven't changed, so I'm basically doing the whole eyes with the neon palette so far. I haven't moved from that. But absolutely experiment with colors and use any colors you like. That's really what this is all about. And as you go along, you're going to notice where you want your deeper colors, where you want to go back and fix things. So that's what I do. As I keep on going, I adjust and then I move forward, and I adjust and I move forward. Just because you see more as you progress. So far, I've just used the airbrush, but for the finishing touches, I will be taking out different tools. So I'm just gonna bring it down to the lighter end of that orange there. So I wanna add some highlights. So we'll use the artist's cue of where the highlights should be. And you can always put in a few of your own that you think work with the eye. The reflection. So I usually just add a couple in there and see how it looks. The reflection is very important to make sure that you get that in there because it really brings a lot of life to the eye. So now I'm gonna use that orange again, but I'm gonna put it on my laser. And I just wanna get a little bit of light happening in this eye. I am actually digging the brown orange eyes with the really colorful makeup. I think it looks quite suiting. So we're gonna have to color the inner part of the eye. So I'm just gonna use this. And that's one way to get around using one palette too. By playing with your slider and moving the colors back and forth, you can bring up a lot of different colors and the colors that are just visible in the palette when you choose it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just coloring the inner part of her eye. So now I'm just blending out the colors and adding a little bit more detail. I'm really trying to bring the eye together. You want to make it look realistic, or I'm trying to make it look somewhat realistic and different here. So with that dark color, I'm going to put a little bit of highlight there just to show some variation in the tone of skin in the eye. So we got some cool eyes happening. Love that I did the brown and orange. I think it works perfectly. I do need some shading. So what I'm going to do, maybe, I'm just gonna outsource maybe a color. Let me see here. Maybe I don't have to. You know what? I don't have to. I can use my recently used colors. I'm just gonna shade the eye a bit because there is naturally shading in your eye, right? You look in the mirror, depending on what kind of lighting you're under. So I'm just gonna go around the eye and add that shading line. You could even add lashes for shading, like have the lashes coming down. I know a lot of artists that do that, and it looks really cool. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Just get it in there. Do be careful when you're shading towards the bottom, as it's usually a little bit more subtle than the top, not always. Again, play with it until you're getting the result that you're looking for. Blending a bit here. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. I want to play with a couple more things here. So now that it's put together, I can really see if I want to add anything else to the eye. And I can experiment with more color. You can see I'm almost taking away the highlight and making a very wide spread now. And that's part of the game as well, is just playing with stuff as you go along, like I said before, because as your picture starts to develop, you'll get more ideas about what you want to achieve. Now I'm going to want to add some stronger highlights in here. So I'm gonna bring that light blue down to the white, and I'm just gonna go across the inner part of her eyelid. I'm gonna add a little bit of white there to make the eye pop a little bit, creating some dimension. Still using the airbrush for this. Okay, so now I'm going to use my glitter, I think. And with the glitter, I'm just gonna add some details, some lighter details. I'm gonna use the orange. Just highlight some areas with that orange that make the eye stand out a little bit more and look a little bit more real. You can see every little thing you do adds detail, so you can't really do anything wrong. It's just about having fun and experimenting, right? So I'm just gonna bring up my brush size, and I might even add a little bit of glitter here and to the cheekbones, just to add a little bit more, add a little bit stronger highlight. Now, whenever I use the glitter for these type of things, I have the brush opacity down all the way. Like, the glitter is so strong. You just want that nice touch. I just want that kiss of light from the glitter right now. I don't want it to overpower the page. Okay, now let's go to the laser. I'm just gonna add extra glitter light, but I'm not gonna use the glitter brush to put the sparkles in. I'm just gonna get a little bit of this light reflecting on top as if it's like a glitter eyeshadow. And I might go back over it with the glitter. I haven't quite decided yet. And it doesn't, the dots don't have to be perfect by any means. I have my brush size very small because I don't want big balls. I just want little tiny ones. Could also play with the plasma a little bit, but I find the plasma a little bit strong. If you're gonna use it for this purpose, you just have to be very gentle with it, because it is very, like if you press too hard, you're gonna be able to tell, and it's a little bit abrasive that way. Just want to blend it out a little bit here. I find the highlight going too far out looks a little bit off, so I'm just blending out that highlight a little bit. Then just looking at my eye and seeing if there's anything else that I want to do. I do a little bit more shading. But you could use like the splatter. You could do so much. I'll show you a couple variations of things. I'm just gonna actually go through the inner part of the eye again, but with the black, and just very close to the lash line, I'm gonna add some black eyeliner to create like some smoky depth. So if you want to do something really fun, let's kick this up a notch. Let's grab our splatter tool. Make sure that your brush opacity is low. Let's go back to our recently used colors. And you could totally add splatter if you want to the eye, to add some funkiness to it. I would not do it on strong opacity. I mean, you can, if you wanted to do something really cool, you could bring it up and like do it like right on her forehead of her face. Look like splatter detailing. And it almost looks like paint splatter eyeshadow, which is pretty cool. I don't want to go overboard with it. I like the effect that it gives minimally. I think it looks nice minimally, not going too crazy. But yeah, like there's so much that you can do, and it's just playing with things. So I'm gonna go back to the laser. I'm just gonna add a couple stronger highlights around the eye here. I want them a bit stronger still. This is just what I usually do. It's just layering highlights. That's all it is. Just makes the eye pop a little bit more. And then sometimes you lose detail when you add new effects. So going over your highlights and strengthening them isn't a bad idea. And then there's just one thing I'm gonna do to bring a little bit of shape and structure to the face. I'm gonna go to my airbrush with the black, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of shading to the bottom of the face. So it looks a little bit more closed in and you're not focusing so much at the bottom part of the face. Really want the eyes to be the focus here. Black is great for kind of hiding the things that we don't want to see. So if I can give you one tip for this whole process is experiment. And you see, I wasn't gonna use the paint splatter tool, but look at how cool that looks now. Like that looks different, you know what I mean? With all the colors and blending done over top with the mild glitter on top of the brow, it really blends in and looks pretty natural, which is nice. That's maybe add a little bit more highlight up here around the hat. There's always little things that we can do at the end of our pictures. So now I'm just doing my final details on my picture, and then we're gonna wrap this up. I hope that this was helpful for everybody. I hope that you like these eyes that I've created for you today, and have fun experimenting and try different tools. You could even use watercolor and spread the color out far. There's so much fun stuff that you can do. And just remember, it's Halloween, so there's no restrictions to what can be done, and it's all in good fun. This is Breanne from Pixite, everybody. Take care. And if there's anything that you would like to see in future tips, just give us a holler and we'll try to get to it for you. Take care, everyone. Bye.